what are your tips, bro? What are your tips for people out there that first people out there that want to start a podcast but undecided? Could be they're scared, ashamed, they don't have the equipment, or any reason, but they have the desire to start one. What is your tip for them?
I would honestly say this for anything in the digital marketing world, social media, marketing, business, branding, entrepreneurship, podcast. If you have, and I just thought of this recently, if you have an idea about wanting to do something, just do it. You know, like I was with a couple of friends on Canada Day, and one person said, I want to get into politics, and one person said, I want to start working out. So you have this idea of you want to do something, you want to better yourself, you want to try something new, then just do it. Like, so you want to do, okay, we'll do podcasts. You want to start a podcast, figure out what you need. And then, you know, okay, I need this. Okay, now I need this. Now I need this. Now I need this. Now, so just do it. That's big. My big thing is just do it. You know, plan it out. Take your time. Don't wait too long. Just try. Like I said earlier, the first one's gonna suck. Yeah. Practice. You're only gonna learn. You know, reach out to people. Ask a couple of people for questions. Like I said earlier, like when I look at marketing and advertising, I want to see how they do it. Kind of just a side story. I was thinking about doing YouTube, right? So for the longest time. And then I didn't know, because when I was in China, I didn't do much of Pinterest. So I come back to Canada, I look at Pinterest, I go on YouTube, and I saw this, you know, and I'm always looking at the numbers, how many subscribers, how many views, how many likes, And I'm looking at this Pinterest video, and this woman is talking about Pinterest, but especially because I like Adobe Premiere. I like watching how people create the video. And I saw that she just used PowerPoint. She just put PowerPoint and voiceover, and I'm like, I can do that in Premiere Pro. After that day, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm starting. So for me, going back to your question, like if you want to start a podcast or anything, just if you have an idea, if you have this moment of like, I want to try this, I want to cook, I want to make this, I want to create this, just do it, and then tweak it a bit. So yeah. So my big thing is it's mental. It's a lot of it's mental, right? It's like you have a phone, you have a microphone, you have a phone that has the rear view camera, the front view camera. You can do a podcast walking in the park, and just use the audio. Exactly. So kind of what you're saying, there's a lot of little things that you need to figure out, and kind of self-promoting figured out podcast. Figure out what you need step by step, and then just go for it. Don't hold back. It's all mental. It's in your heart. It's in your head. You got to take that step forward. So I honestly think it's a mental thing. It's psychology. So you have the resources. If you don't, ask a friend to borrow it. Ask someone to lend you what you need. Like I said, this microphone's for my friend. So my big tip would just be go for it. Don't be afraid. Challenge yourself. Fight the fear. The more you fight fear, the more comfortable you become. I like that. Fight the fear. Yeah. So just battle through it. Push yourself. It's not that, like, just do it. Like, and if you fail, you learn from it, and then just move forward. Okay, this mic didn't work, or this app didn't work, or this topic wasn't good, or this guest wasn't good, or some people may be like, that was really good. Like that's it, and then you build confidence, and you slowly get better. And so just, if you have an idea about wanting to do something, that means you want to do it. So just do it. And just write it down, write on a piece of paper what you need and how you're going to do it. And then do the baby steps. And eventually your baby steps will turn into big steps into running. So. Nice. I totally agree, bro. I totally agree. I like what you've said. I was actually waiting for you to say that part, because a lot of people take what Gary V's line that if you want something, you start on it, just start doing it. A lot of people take that in a wrong context, and so when you mentioned that, I was like, okay. I'm just waiting for you to say that, and then you said it, and that is the part when you said, if you want something, you do it, but you need to plan it, right? Don't take too long, but you prepare everything, and then you start baby steps, and then you start doing it. And for me, that completes the formula, right? Because if that alone, like if you want something, you do it, but how? Or if you don't, if you don't prepare, if you don't collect everything, if you don't make research, or at least talk, watch, learn how you will do it, you will end up not hitting the right thing, the right goal. And
who knows? Maybe you are destined for that one, but because you
True.
didn't prepare as much, you didn't watch, you didn't listen, you didn't talk to anyone about it, and it took you too long, then you missed you missed the opportunity, you missed the goal. And so that's what I like when you mentioned that, so that people will not miss that part. It completes the equation. Yes, you have the passion, you have the idea. Now, spend like what, 1 day or at least 2 days researching. Let's say, for example, you want to start a podcast. At least listen to a podcast that you like. Watch people how they do stuff. Talk to people. Not asking for their approval or something, just having listening about their perspective that could help you or not, and then I like what you said, you write it all down, you make an assessment, a
Yeah.
checklist. Look, okay, this is what I need, and I don't have this one, so what is the next big thing I can utilize for me to run this dream, right?
Yeah, you're totally right, because like my podcast is Figure It Out, and a big reason is because while I was in China, I was a manager. I was managing a hockey team that we
Hmm.
started. My buddy and I started from scratch,
Wow.
and every day there was a problem. Uh, Everything: equipment, money, finances, people, the
Right.
facility, marketing, advertising, problems with the players. So every day I had to figure it out. Figure it out. Okay, there's a problem. How do we figure it out?
Right.
There's a situation. How do we figure it out? Okay, I figured it out this time. I can figure it out again. So it's all about figuring it out. So if
Nice.
you have a problem, and kind of what, like I was saying earlier, if you have an idea that you want to do something, do it. And then how do you do it? You figure it out. So you think about what you need, what you have, and how you can do it. I hate saying this, but I forget where I heard it, but it's kind of like someone who has a dream and has no reason not to do it. But then you have like drug addicts. Every day they figure it out. They figure out how to get their drugs and do it. I mean, they're hustlers. They figure it out. So you have a dream, you have an idea, you want to do something. Where's the hustle? You got to hustle. You got to put in the work. And it's I
How
don't mean like,
bad, how
yeah,
bad do you want that dream? I think
yeah,
that's it. You use the drug addict reference, so
yeah.
it applies to them. How bad do you want that drug? And it obviously, I need it, we need it, so that's the answer that they're gonna give you. So put that in the context of you, and your dream. How
Yeah,
bad do you want that dream, right?
totally true. So yeah, like just figure it out. So if like not just podcasts, with anything, if there's something you
Yes.
want to do, start a digital marketing agency, start a social media agency, start teaching guitar lessons. You have an idea, you have a skill that people will want. I'm a big fan of Seth Godin, of course,
Oof.
and yeah, I'm a huge fan of Seth Godin, and he talks about like build it for 10 people, create something for 10 people. If they like it, then you're onto something. If they don't like it, you need to fix it. And if they do like it, 10 people turn into 13, turn into 18. And it was kind of interesting. Like I don't really like Seth Godin's like, don't care about analytics because that's going to mess with your head. And of course, numbers are important. So since
Yeah.
since I'm relatively still, tweaking some things and trying to get better, I actually have noticed, because I've done more episodes in the past 2 weeks. So now I have more people coming to listen. So I can see the number going up of listeners. Like, okay, now we're in the double digits. Now we're midway the hundreds, and going up to close to hundreds. It's and I'm still relatively new and still growing. So, just stick with it. Practice everything. Just the little things matter.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I've learned a lot and I'm inspired. And I'm sure a lot of listeners and a lot of viewers are gonna be inspired also. Man,
So
one thing that I like um here having you in this show is I just see a humble person. I see a humble
thank
person
you.
filled with talent, a good heart, and passion in what you do. And for me, that's enough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment you can buy, you can borrow, someone can
Yeah,
give you something, right?
yeah,
But passion wrapped with humility, that's golden, man. That's a unicorn out there. And that's you.
true. Yeah, no, actually, what Seth Godin was, I was listening to him recently, and what do young marketers need? And I'm really big on this, is empathy and humility, because you got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. And that's the big reason I like podcasts, because I love listening to people's stories. Most of the stories are successful or on the good side, but they have their ups and downs, which it's like, wow, you went through that and you made it to where you are. That's so inspiring. And humiliate. Yeah, I'm putting myself out there. If I make a post, I've made like Instagram posts of my podcast or whatever, and I'd see a spelling mistake, like, oh man, like I'm such a fool, like I forgot, I made a spelling mistake, or I spelled the person's name wrong. I have to redo everything. Right. So you got to put yourself out there, and people respect that. People actually like that. And when I first started, I was shy, nervous, what people would think. Who does Frank think he is? A podcast? Like, what is that? But no, it's been the opposite. If something can go bad, that means something can go good. And so many people think about the bad. Oh, I'm scared, I'm nervous. But you should think about, if I do it, I'll gain experience, I'll gain knowledge, I'll gain skills. I'll see the true colors of people close to me, if they're supportive or not. So I know it goes really deep into just like you said, be passionate, and it doesn't matter what other people think. Like, if you care about something, you do it, and if you make one, like, honestly, if one person likes my podcast and messages me and said that was a great podcast, I'm happy, because that person, they took time out of their day. They can listen to any other podcast, watch any other YouTube, watch any other Netflix, and they decided to listen to my podcast with a certain guest, and that makes me so happy, because I can talk to this person and then they have something to talk to me about. And now we have this new idea, and now we can move forward together and just slowly make the world a better place by helping people listen to other people's stories. Not everyone wants to listen to, like, don't get me wrong, I love sports and I love athletes, but not everyone wants to hear about this athlete who had it tough and then made millions of dollars. Of course he did. That's awesome. But we want to hear the people that we know stories, people close to us, people in the same city, people in the same country, people who actually make a difference in the world, whether it's charity. I had a girl who helps dogs around the world. That's way more interesting than, a lot of what these athletes do, get into trouble with, their crazy girlfriends or their team, so.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.